This video is about how to work with degree and radian measure, or in particular, since this is an introductory video, we really need to talk about what is a radian measure in general. Now, I'm not going to go into all the details in this video. That would take quite a while. Rather, I'm just going to get you used to working with radians. So over here on the right, I've drawn a circle with an x and y axis. And one common way to draw an angle inside of a circle is to start with the positive x-axis and measure your angles counterclockwise. So in blue, I have a 90-degree angle. I started with the positive x-axis. I measured counterclockwise, so if I draw the second side of the angle straight up, that would be a 90-degree angle. And of course, we know all the way around a circle makes 360 degrees. Now the question is, why 360 degrees? Who decided? In reality, one of the ancient Mesopotamian civilizations decided that 360 degrees would be a good idea. It may have been the Babylonians, I'm not 100% sure, but one of those civilizations. As it turns out, to do advanced mathematics, using 360 degrees is not a very good idea. So, again, without going into all the details, because it's going to seem a little unusual, but as it turns out, it's a much better idea if you say that an entire circle is 2 pi and the unit is called a radian. I'm going to put that in parentheses because in reality it's not a unit at all. It doesn't have any dimension attached to it. But anyway, as unusual as it seems, take my word for it, it's a good idea to divide a circle into 2 pi radians. Now, while we're here, if we divide a circle into 2 pi radians, that means a half a circle, which would be 180 degrees, that's pi radians. And it's important to note that because what we're going to do in this video is unit conversions. We're going to use pi radians, and again I'm going to put this in parentheses. Normally you don't write it down because it's not an actual unit. But pi radians is 180 degrees. We're going to use that as our conversion ratio. And really quickly, the reason why is if you were to use 2 pi radians, which is a complete circle, is 360 degrees, well, both of these are multiples of 2. So you would cancel the 2, and 2 goes into 360 180 times. So the conversion ratio we're going to use is pi radians is 180 degrees. So let's get to this actual problem where we want to convert 150 degrees to radians. Now, you may have learned how to convert units in some class. If you already know how to convert units, that's fine. You can proceed as you like using this conversion ratio. The way I like to teach converting units is this. Step 1 is you always multiply by a fraction. Step 2, I write the units first. So degrees is in the top. I want that to cancel, so I'm going to put degrees in the bottom. And I'm going to convert that to radians. Again, I'm going to put this in parentheses. Normally you don't write the word radian for technical reasons. So step 1, multiply by a fraction. Step 2, write the units. Step 3, write the conversion ratio. So we have pi radians is 180 degrees. And the reason you write the units first is a common mistake is to put the wrong number on the top or bottom or vice versa. Well, if I've already written the units, then well, it's 180 degrees is pi radians. Now, you may be in a class where you have to deal with this arithmetic by hand. You can cancel the fractions. If you're allowed to, then certainly use a calculator on this. So we have 150 degrees, and we're going to multiply by a fraction, and in the top we had pi, and in the bottom we had 180. If I just press enter, I get the exact answer, 5 pi over 6. If I press control enter, I get 2.62. So 5 pi over 6 or 2.62. Let's go back to our problem then. So normally when you're working with radians, the answer would be written as 5 pi over 6. Every now and again, you may be asked for an approximate answer or a rounded answer, which is 2.62 in this case. So that's how you can convert degrees to radians. Now let's go the other way around. Let's say we have an angle measured in radians. Same thing. Here's how you convert units. Multiply by a fraction. Write the units first. Well, this is in radians, so I want radians to cancel, even though, like I said, there's some technicalities here. This isn't really a unit. But I'm going to convert this to degrees. So step 1, multiply by a fraction. Step 2, write the units. Step 3, write the conversion ratio. And it's 180 degrees for pi radians. So we have 7 pi over 4 times 180 over pi. Let's do that in a calculator really quick. So we have 7. That would have been fine to leave it there, but I didn't like the way it looked. So 7 pi over 4 times, so again, multiply by a fraction, write the units first, then the conversion ratio, so 180 over pi. If you'll notice here, there's a pi in the top and the bottom. Those are just going to cancel. If you notice that beforehand, you could just type this in and not bother with typing the pi. So if you think a step ahead, you can save yourself a little bit of time. If I press enter, or if I press Control Enter, I'm going to get the same answer. I get 315 degrees. So that's the answer to this question, and that's the basics of working with radians and degrees. So that's the end of this video. Hope it helped.